Assalamu alaikum, a very good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and very special welcome to Yang Berhormat Menteri. Thank you for coming to the Mega Science 2050 presentation on the automotive sector. This is a session where we are going to speak about the Malaysian automotive industry in the future, basically 30 years from today. Ladies and gentlemen, let us imagine the situation in the year 2050. Imagine how you go to work in the morning. Will you be driving in a car like today? Or will your car be so intelligent that it will be on an autopilot or autonomous driving that you can sit back, relax while watching the morning news? Imagine how our children will be going to school in the year 2050. There might be a driverless vehicle waiting in front of our house every morning and send back our children safely in the afternoon. You will know their whereabouts because their locations are being sent to your mobile all the time. Now, imagine in the future that commuting is going to be easy and safe. No traffic lights, no traffic congestion, no accidents. Well, at least theoretically. Let us watch a video. There are many similar ones in the internet, but this will give us a glimpse of what the future automotive holds. The video, please.
Please go ahead.
Voila, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see from the video, the future is not too far away from us. Some of these future automotive characteristics are actually already here. Sensors are being incorporated in many vehicles for safety purposes. Lane detection cameras are being used. The autopilot technology is already available but are still very expensive, and the infrastructure and environment are still not suited for autonomous driving, while electric cars are becoming more popular. As we can also see that tomorrow's automobile will be much more than today's mechanical machine. Tomorrow's cars will be electrical, electronics, chemical, information technology, communications, and so on. Now, which direction is the automotive world going? Let us look at the evolution of the powertrain technologies. By the year 2020, many countries are expected to switch to hybrid vehicles. Automotive manufacturers will mass produce hybrids, and the market will offer hybrid cars. Ladies and gentlemen, by the year 2025, PH or plug-in hybrid is expected to be dominating the market, and the landscape of the auto industry will again change significantly. People will be charging your vehicles wherever chargers are available, at home or offices, car parks, and at R&R. We will find that less cars will be going to petrol pump stations. Then by the year 2030, ladies and gentlemen, battery EVs and fuel cell will be widely used. Vehicles will no longer need to be charged at charging stations, but charged by fuel cells, which then uses hydrogen. Of course, at this time, vehicles will be filled with hydrogen, and we will see a proliferation of hydrogen stations instead of fuel or petrol stations. Now, are we taking the same route insofar as Malaysia is concerned? In our opinion, we will up to a certain extent follow the same route. However, considering our own industry, economy, investments, environmental, and governing factors, it is that the ICE or the internal combustion engine technology that will still play an important role in the Malaysian automotive scenario. Our researchers and engineers will intensify and enhance the energy efficient vehicle technology and will prolong the consumption of liquid and gas fuels. Now, however, the use of biofuel is predicted to be slowly decreasing, or at least will remain constant, and this is partly or mainly due to food security issues as we move forward to the future. By 2020, the hybrid vehicles, which are 50% electric and 50% fuel, will dominate the market. When what I refer to as 2020 and all those timelines, ladies and gentlemen, are really timelines where such technology are matured. Yes, we do see an electric vehicle today, as the one that we saw hybrid outside, the i8 BMW is an example of a hybrid vehicle, but it is at 1.2 million. So at 1.2 million, it's very luxurious. It is not mass produced. So by 2020, we predict that the hybrid vehicles will dominate the market, meaning the price will become competitive. By 2030, the plug-in hybrid, the PHEV, which is 70% electric and 30% fuel, will replace the hybrid. And by 2040, the full electric vehicles, non-emission powertrain technology, EVs, will dominate the automotive industry, that most vehicles will be dependent on electricity or fuel cell. Very true, electric vehicles are already available, but again, the cost of batteries, the cost of motors, inverters, and so on are still expensive, and therefore EVs are still at a higher range in terms of pricing, and the mass production of EVs is still very small. In comparison to the population of EVs to the rest of the powertrain in the world now, EV only represent less than 1% of total sales of cars in the world. Now, while this powertrain technology is evolving through these decades, we cannot put aside one thing, which is intelligent mobility system will be aggressively developed and simultaneously incorporated in the new vehicles. Vehicles will be communicating with each other, as well as with sensors and providers of information systems for the purpose of navigation and communication. Ladies and gentlemen, there will be massive data that will be moved, processed, and stored. These systems will need to be in place. It is predicted that the big data, the Internet of Things, or now the Internet of Everything, and the autonomous vehicles or automated driving will then be our way of life in the 2040s. What does it bring in terms of economic benefit? Now let us look at how many vehicles we will be producing in the future. Globally, by the year 2050, the TIV is going to be about 200 million vehicles. Today, it is at 84 million vehicles. And comparatively, our TIV is going to be 2.3 million, which is a significant increase compared to what it is today, which is about 700,000 cars. Now, the automotive GDP, it is currently at 4%, and we predict it will increase to 15% in the year 2050. The employment for the auto industry, which is now stands at 600,000, will rise to 1.5 million, while the exports of parts and components, which is currently at 9.7 billion, will increase to 61 billion. Now, this is a very big increase, and therefore it requires a lot of effort and support from many sectors across government, industry, as well as the academia. Ladies and gentlemen, the success of this transformation will not come easy without issues and challenges. And some of the major issues that we are facing, firstly, the infrastructure. We need the electricity or the hydrogen to be easily available across the country. The roads and highways need to accommodate smart vehicles, the vehicles with the intelligent mobility system. Second, the society need to learn the new way of transportation. Get used to internet bookings, which is current, but more of that will be online, more of vehicle sharing, and more of time management sharing. Thirdly, ladies and gentlemen, would be issues with regard to consumers' acceptance. Rules and regulation, infrastructural development that need to be in place and not become barriers. All these cannot be barriers for market acceptance. Fourthly, technical competencies. We need to make sure the competent or trained competent workforce is there to handle design of new cars as well as servicing and repairs. Ladies and gentlemen, so what are our strategies? Firstly, we need the government to give its full support. We need the right policy with respect to energy, environment, human capital development, and incentives to help promote the new vehicles. Secondly, government, academia, industries, and businesses, they need to collaborate and move along the roadmap and the value chain. Thirdly, consumers at all levels, all of us, need to be exposed, educated, and trained on these new technologies. Fourthly, we need to institute relevant infrastructure and development coordination, and we need to also build a strong R&D capabilities for the new powertrain and the intelligent mobility system. We need to spend on research and development. Some of the major areas that need to be focused on: number one, integrated digital engineering. These are a lot to do with sensors, actuators, advanced transmission system, advanced converters technology, and etc. Advanced green materials. We have seen outside how composite, being light but being strong, is going to play an important role to make sure the sustainability of the auto industry. Big data movement. All the data that are to be captured, processed, stored, and to be used for the benefit of the future generation, which will allow vehicle communication, etc. Advanced integrated active safety. While cars are becoming more autonomous, we need to make sure the safety level are getting more proactive rather than reactive. So what is our action plan? So we need to focus in 4 areas: policies, business, economics, business and economics, social, and research and development. In the area of policies, we need to revisit and review policies such as energy and fuel policy, incentive for charging infrastructure investment, tax exemption for companies using e-mobility, etc. In business and economy, new materials industries and suppliers, designs and concept competency, all these need to be developed. It includes businesses that are to do with advanced sensor technologies, alternative energy conservation technologies, specialized e-mobility, and etc. While at the social front, public education, exposition, public usage anxiety, conveniences, safety, e-mobility, aftermarket support system, etc., and so on, all these have got to go along to develop these special or these future vehicles. While in technology and research and development, we need to introduce the e-mobility or the IMS Community Research and Development Association. Basically, the Malaysian community has got to elevate its current technology and mindset from where we are to a much higher level, not only for technology purposes, but also to propagate this mentality across the community and society in Malaysia. So therefore, our recommendations, ladies and gentlemen, we have set out the roadmap, we know where we are going, and at the same time, we know the obstacles and hurdles that we have to put up. We will get there. Malaysia will be one of the advanced countries with advanced automotive by the year 2050. Here are some of the key recommendations. Continue our automotive ecosystem to develop it. We must put in place the right and conducive new powertrain, new e-mobility and integrated mobility system policies. We need to keep the industry and businesses at the front. We must focus on our auto technology and research and development. We need to create the e-mobility, the society, the community that are very much involved in research and development. Creation of an awareness in research and development from young to older. We need to keep encouraging and accommodating cultural change towards the new automotive of the 2050. With that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much.